Ladies and gentlemen, I'm High-Res Pretty Hair, and this is Dev Talk. Oh yeah, and we got Dry Bear here too. This is High-Res Dry Bear. This week, there's going to be no patch, but we wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update so as not to keep you in the dark as to what we're working on. And with that, I'm going to let Roy take it away.
Hi! All right, so we're hopping into CB30. Yeah, so as Pretty Hair mentioned, we are going to be delaying CB30. So at the current state we have right now, the maps, there's still a couple more issues we have to iron out. We want to make sure that the maps are in a better state for you guys. We are obviously going to be releasing those in more of a beta state. Doing 2 maps that quickly, we had to kind of, just get them out to the public as soon as we could. So there's going to be obviously some issues. We want to make sure that the really bad ones, the critical ones, are sorted out for next week. So just to catch you guys up, if you haven't been part of the teasing process or been reading the forums over the last week or so, we are going to be kind of reevaluating the map layout and structure for the current siege maps. So we have 2 maps to show you today. It's going to be a kind of reimagining of Temple Ruins and a reimagining of Glacier Keep in more of a natural FPS style, so tighter corners, more verticality platforms to land on if you're playing Eevee or Drogos, more side routes and side flanks for an Androxus or some of those more Assassin-y style characters, and then more choke points for characters like Fernando and Barrack to really have their position as well. So we hope that these new maps are better representation, and we're eager to hear your feedback as to what you think and which maps you like better. Maybe you like the old ones, maybe you like the new ones. And then once we have that information from you guys, we care a lot about your feedback. We'll be able to move forward from there. So as we're heading into game here, we'll be showing off some of the pieces. And one thing that's important to cover about the style of the new maps, one of the issues we had with the old maps, it was difficult to really get strong side routes around the points because the points were connected together. So if you see on the current Temple Ruins, Glacier Keep, or Enchanted Forest, because the points are in the same space, when you look at the connective tissue between the points, if we put a side route, for example, on Temple Ruins and Canyon, if we put a side route there, that becomes a different area that affects the center point of Temple Ruins, and vice versa. If we try to put a side route for Temple Ruins, that'll affect the flow and feeling of Canyon. And because of this, we want to try to separate those out and make sure that we can make the best gaming experience on those points and isolate them a little bit better. So we can go ahead and hop into game here. It'll show this off. So you'll see on your screen, you actually will spawn into a spawn room at the start of the match. And then randomly, sporadically throughout the match, one of the 3 portals here in front of you will become active, and you'll be taken to a separate place around the tropical island of Temple Ruins in this test version of Temple Ruins. And then that space will be contained for that certain area. So you have a lot of tight routes, a lot of verticality, a lot better flow, we hope, to really play through that game space. And then you'll capture the point, spawn a payload, push that through, and then you'll come back to the spawn room.
So when you say you're disconnecting the points, these spawns go to each point, and that basically 3 completely different zones within the map.
Completely different areas.
Okay, so they are completely separated from one another.
So you say this, we're still using the Temple Ruins kind of art theme with some new representation here, but you can see already there's a lot of tight spaces. The line of sights aren't as long. There's the frog over there at the back. It's my favorite. So you jump over there, you look up to go around. Oh, go around to the edge. No, back, go back, and then look up to the left. It's Big Frog! And he's spewing water!
So yeah, this is definitely like the same art style, but this feels like a completely different map from what we're used to with Temple Ruins.
Yeah, and so you'll see there's a lot of side routes there. The capture point isn't as exposed, right? So we want to make sure that there is some tight gameplay around the capture point. And then characters, again, like Fernando, Barrack, can really sit on the capture point and hold it as is their intended job without feeling like they're exposed from all directions. And there's some cool line of sights that Eevee can use to get around and Drox can use to get around. Canessa still has her good sniping posts, but you also see there's a lot of areas up above. Now, this one is actually is one of the more, I guess, on the ground of the 3 points.
Sure.
The other 2 will have more verticality areas. This one is going to be our contrast point for that. But again, you see there's a lot of really interesting areas where Bomb King can hide sticky bombs on those posts there, you can kind of take some flank routes. Victor can get a nice grenade bounce off the wall, but it feels a lot tighter, and the action starts to pick up a little bit more.
For sure, for sure.
So that's the goal, and obviously, as you see, you'll be able to kind of capture this point. Now, you still will have the payload push to follow after that. It starts to build up, and you push all the way to the end. But again, you'll have a little bit tighter corridor on that push, and the defenders will have to pick it up from there.
So one question for you. So basically, is there going to be something similar to how we have the spawn points now? You can retreat back, you can fall back to the little healing sections, you can go back to change your loadout. Is that going to be something we can still do here with this layout or style, or will you have to die to return to the spawn room?
In this current style, there will be no healing well. So what we wanted to accomplish with this is that focus more on the action and kind of, when you're on defense, it's more about the strategy, and then give you the cover you need to regenerate if you have the ability to do so, or just heal out of combat. But we wanted to get rid of was the style in the old maps where defenders were kind of just straddling their spawn room. They're stepping in the spawn room, healing up, stepping out, fighting.
Exactly.
And we felt like that just didn't really breed good gameplay and good usage of mechanics and the card system as well. Maybe if you want to invest in healing cards, those become less valuable if you're on your defense because the healing well is there. So on these maps, there will be no healing well once you're actually teleported through, and you'll have to die in order to go back. But that means that those healing cards and defensive cards are more valuable.
Cool. So we can go ahead and capture this payload, and then it should spawn it. Will this spawn us into the next round, back into the spawn room?
The round will end just like it does normally in Siege, and then you'll go back in the spawn room, and then one of the remaining two point areas will spawn, and it'll keep doing that forever. So it's random at first, but then it's the same sequence after. So every time you play this map, it'll be a different order, but then it isn't. You won't get the same point twice. So you're guaranteed to get the points you haven't gotten yet. So that portal will deactivate. You're in the spawn room with your teammates, changing your loadout, getting your burn cards and whatever else, and then you'll be kind of selecting things from there, and then you'll be able to go out into the capture area of the next one. And as I mentioned, that point we just showed, that was one of the lower ones. Some of the other ones have a lot higher vantage points and tight corridors to really kind of capitalize on some of the shooter mechanics. So
you'll kind of almost change the way you want to play in these certain points, given, who you are, what character you are. If you want to get up high, if you're a blaster, or if you're kind of these hit scan characters, you can do much better on these flatter points. So we're going to head out here, and this is going to be, wow, yeah, you can already see the verticality in this one.
Yes, you can kind of come up, downsize that little flare. Then obviously, we're still working on these. Some of the lighting isn't done, and this isn't intended for the final. The artists are still working very hard to make this even more awesome than it is currently, getting that all sorted out. You can see there's a lot of really tight corridors, places to hide, places to put turrets. And one of the cool things about these map styles as we were making them, we tried to imagine, if I'm playing character X, how would I enjoy this map, right? So say you're playing Barrack. Try to imagine all the places you could hide your turrets, all the places you could run around and put a shield up, all the places you could really be the best Barrack you can be, and then change and see, how would you play this if you were playing Canessa? How would you change this if you're playing Cassie? And we hope that, that all changes the gameplay depending on what character you're playing, and has a lot of options for that. And one of the cool things about these new maps as well, we've gotten a lot of feedback from the community, just looking at the way the maps were basically blocked off in some places. You'd run into an invisible wall when you're flying, or you would just block to the map.
Definitely.
We've blown that all out. So on these new maps, if you see a cliff, that is actually a cliff. If you fall off, you will die. If Cassie punts you off with disengage, you will die. If if Drogos or maybe someone with a hook in the future jumps off and pulls you off with it, you will both die. And so that it allows you to have a lot more interesting gameplay and kind of straddle a line of cliffs and use natural dangers in your own favor.
Okay, so does this include, what comes to mind is things on like Glacier Keep on the waterfall capture point, how you head under those two archers. There was kind of an invisible wall, like Drogos couldn't fly over it. Is that included? So that's all blown out. So guys, this is kind of things that are indirectly, buffing almost characters that fly, that use kind of this airspace. They've kind of opened up the airspace for you to kind of utilize everything.
That's right. Well, if you go ahead and queue again, then we can bring up Glacier Keep as well and show that. And again, the art's not final on these guys. The reason we are pushing this patch back is we felt like we needed a little bit extra time to get the maps right and make sure they play well for you. They still will be in a beta state. We want to make sure that we just had them just far enough along that we can do it. Just do the top right.
Top right.
Yeah, that'll do it. And so you'll be able to see these going in, and then obviously with the split and how the spaces will kind of expand. We're curious to hear your feedback and if you like the new style or not. Internally, we're enjoying it. We're enjoying the difference in pacing and the higher intensity of action. And we're going to throw them out there and see what you guys think.
I love it already. I feel like, a lot of times you only have one kind of high ground position you can take around this, and there was already in that second point, there was already so many different vantage points and things. And you were talking about Barrack. Barrack, I feel like, is definitely someone who is going to thoroughly benefit from a lot of these tight corridors here to post up. There's going to be some serious Barrack nests being built here in these new maps.
That is the case. Let's see if I can. There we go. So we're gonna hop in this match. We're gonna be in there together, and I'll shoot at you, so it looks a little bit more natural. But yeah, so we're gonna be hopping into. Looks like actually we got Temple Ruins again, so we'll show this off. Actually, be pretty decent for Cassie to show people getting knocked off the cliffs as well. But yeah, so that's the number one thing. It's really just kind of getting these maps out there, looking for feedback. And if you guys have any kind of questions, feel free to shoot them over, pop them in chat right now. Again, we are pushing the patch back, so we get this in. Now, obviously, along with this, that means we'll be able to pick up additional content that wasn't planned for this release this week. Something potentially like a new champion that might come along.
Maybe a little something here. And it looks like we did actually get Glacier Keep, despite the spawn room looks a little bit different.
Yeah, so it looks like this is Glacier Keep, but the title on the top there wasn't correct. But we're gonna go ahead and once this starts up, you see again, you spawn the spawn room. That gives you plenty of room to kind of test things out and really kind of get ready for the match. Buy your burn cards, whatever the case may be. Pick up that new burn card there, Rejuvenate, and then we are going to choose one. It'll randomly pick one of these three. And then for every point after that, it'll pick from the remaining, so you would never get the same point twice. And it will ensure that every three-point sequence, it will have all three maps in it, all 3 points in it, so you don't get the same one back to back. So it's going to be the left one this time. This one just spawned up randomly. And again, this is not final. The artists are still working on this. This is very much in the in the typical style of Glacier Keep. They're still fixing the lighting here. So again, this is not final art. But you can see that, all this stuff very, very tight. You can jump up and land on that platform if your Drogos. You come in here, and this is all kind of more cover everywhere, a lot of tight spots to hide behind, more places to kind of really capitalize on.
This is wide open now, yeah.
Punt them up there. And you see that by adding these trees as well around the point, there's more cover. The point isn't as exposed as it was prior. You come down here, and here's the push area. So let's see if we can't capture this point here.
Snag one of those payloads.
Get that payload on it.
Okay, and this is looking like it's closed out, because I noticed casting some of these tournaments here, especially with the Igloo point, this was a huge point of contention, and how you were talking about how having all the capture points connected together, like basically, so the old Igloo point, guys, was down here. And basically, whenever this would spawn in a tournament setting, you would always see the fight come up to this high ground as teams would kind of vie for this high ground control, because it was so important to capturing that igloo that the entire fight wouldn't even happen on the point. It would happen up here. And so by closing this off, it really hard separates the map. It sends you in the direction of the point. It forces you to fight kind of more on the point and kind of disregard basically everything else that was associated with one of those points spawning.
Punch them along there, and we'll ride this in. We can actually just go ahead and round. I believe that works. Yep, there we go. So we end the round there as we push it in. So as a defense, see if we can see another point here. So that portal will then deactivate, and then a random different one of the remaining two will spawn. And then you can see that really it plays very similarly to the Siege mode now. So it has the kind of same game mode, same rules, same setup. But we really try to accomplish more of a tight FPS gameplay feel for them. And bring that together. Let's see.
I'm liking these spawn rooms. Give me like a nice ski lodge feeling.
Yeah, and they put a bear pelt on the wall.
Yeah.
It's rude. Absolutely rude. I don't know why they put a bear. They could have put like a lion, like the heart of a lion maybe.
Or like a turtle shell or something.
Like a turtle shell. Anything but the bear pelt. So this is the next area you see, and this whole area, there's a mining quarry down there where they're getting the ice out of the Glacier Keep. But this is all death zone. So if I'm up here and I'm defending, there's an enemy casting, they punt me and I go, no, I'll die. So there's a lot of hazards in the maps now, the cliffs, some in different areas, things there. And obviously, as she's distancing into space there, this is not final. Still kind of finalizing some of these pieces here.
This is $1 million view right here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this is going to be this is the old Igloo point, basically.
This is the Igloo point, that's right.
Okay, so yeah, as you can see, this is where that's where we were. That's that close-off room that was the other capture point. And so now that is completely closed off. You can't fire down onto here anymore. It's kind of irrelevant.
Well, if you look on this too, you can see this capture point didn't get bigger. We actually made this room a lot smaller. So you can see this it looks like it got bigger, but didn't. So this is right next to the wall here. You see you can hide. And it makes this capture point space actually a lot more interesting, since it's not just wide open. There's a lot of spots here. There's some crates here you can jump on if you want to get up to the next point. You're not Pip and you can't waitlist. But then there's a lot of spots you can fight. There's this whole expansive area over here. So Kanessa, and I think I think they fixed this now. You can go out onto these. Yep. So I can go at Knessa, and I can just sit all the way out here on this wood post on the cliff, looking down on the quarry, and I can snipe on the point.
Yeah, because I'm not able.
You know?
I'm like barely. I can jump and just barely see Rory's head when he's standing all the way back there. So you could stand up there as Pip or Bomb King and lob stuff down. You know, basically safely.
And we got a lot of side routes here, places to hide, kind of flank around, and see if you can kind of move around, get a nice beat on your enemy, or maybe kind of. You know, so he's got the payload cart here, so I can come maybe around this way behind the trees. If I feel like I can't, it's not safe to go that way. We can go. Up here, this is now a jump spot. This used to be inaccessible from this direction, but now you can jump up on it. So I feel like I want to kind of cut him off here. I'll be able to come in on that, take him out, go back this way and defend. And as this kind of comes in, you see that this is similar to the old base in Glacier Keep, but we made a couple changes. Number one, there's no portals on the insides. The defenders have to use these stairs to get up, and then they have this kind of exposed area here. But one of the things that we noticed about the gameplay on this point especially is, you know, you were really kind of exposed on this side, so defenders couldn't really have a spot where they can kind of defend down from. So we added some more cover here. We made sure to kind of give more spots to the defenders to be there. And again, remember, we added this with the change that there will be no spawn rooms. So there's this little kind of like, this is a spawn room they spawn in, but there's no heal well. This won't heal you when you're in here. So once you're damaged on defense, you have to be very careful where you stand. So go along with that, we've added more cover to keep you safe in those situations. And it's more about strategic play than it is about having the healing well take care of you.
Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and get over to that third capture point now. So this will be basically the spawn in a random order, but you're guaranteed to get all three, basically.
That's right. So the next one will be the final point. So once you, and again, every time it starts a new match, it will change the order randomly. But after the first 3 points, then it will be a known order. And so, you know, you can build your strategies around that, knowing what the structure is going to be. But it's going to be, you know, something that you really have to kind of react to in the beginning. And you, I see Nick pointing this out. This is one of the new cards we added as well. Rejuvenate. It's a burn card if you haven't seen this yet. So this one's a little bit different than Veteran or Gather. You get a big burst to heal when you exit combat. And this is really helpful for characters like Androxus, who really want to step out of combat briefly and get right back in rather than healing up to full. It turns out to be really powerful for him. So this is the third point. He part of the old base as well, kind of wide open there on that defense. And you're going to come this way. See this cavern. This is the kind of the mine, if anyone remembers it. Some of this may be familiar. We salvaged some of it, and that's kind of blocked off. I'm going to bring this around over here. And you can see that this used to be just a giant line of sight. You can still shoot through it. Again, we want to make sure that all the collision is really lined up with what you're shooting at, so you can see kind of shoot next to it. If you want to fly over these things, you can. If you want to kind of go over roofs, then you'll be able to do so in certain areas. But just to make sure that that space is very accessible by all the flying characters. Again, this is down into the quarry, but if you want to jump out here, you certainly can. I'm going to try not to do it, but that just allows that. If I'm up here defending and there's a cast on the other side, like I see him, see you later. Oh, no. And that's a kill, right? So I just killed him by just punting him off. So a lot more hazards in the map, a lot more areas of interest.
So we got this respawn timer up here too, I see.
Oh yeah, that's a nice feature. So at the top of the screen, you'll see what he's talking about. That's we're going to visually represent the respawns now. They'll start from the right side of the screen and drain in towards the center. So if actually, I can kill myself. Let's see.
Something advantageous you could do with that. So I see Dry Bear is dead for 10 seconds. Say I'm on the point with my team here, but I am chosen. I'm called out as the forward zoner. So basically what I mean here, we win the team fight. We got 3 teammates on the point to maximize our capture multiplier here. And then as soon as I see their respawn start to roll through, then as the forward zoner, then I know I can move out safely without wasting any capture point time. So a little bit of a min-max thing you can kind of do with that now added to the game.
Yeah, so obviously the goal with this is when you're playing shooters, you generally don't have a lot of time to study information. You have to kind of look in periphery or look very quickly at a glance. So we want to try and represent the respawn timers a little bit more visually rather than with just the number on it, just so you can see about how long it's going to be. So if you see a cluster of enemies about to hit the center point of the screen, you know they're about to respawn, and if they're farther away, they're farther out from respawning. That gives you a visual representation of that respawn, so you can actually see at a glance what's going to happen. Capture this up. Just gotta push this down. We can actually, I think after seeing this point, we can go ahead and bring it back to our wonderful faces, and then we'll go back into Temple Ruins. I think we missed one of the points to be able to show that off. Gotta push that down. All right.
You just want to force quit it. We can head over to That Temple Ruins fine. We'll get all 3 points. So we did see kind of the contrast point, like you were talking about, how one of these points is still going to remain somewhat flat here. And then as play the game.
Yeah, well, so we're going to be, yeah, the goal is to make sure that we have like a lot of different points, right? So each point won't play the same. We want to make sure that, like, on a map, you maybe have a point that's a little more open. That's helpful for characters like Kinessa. Maybe a point that's tighter. That's good for characters like Androxus. They want to flank, or Eevee that wants to flank. Then maybe we have a point that's like all about choke points, and then tank characters can take it over. And that way, depending on what point you have, you can really switch up who is the prominent character on your team, and really be able to play through that and make sure you have the right comp balanced out enough to make sure that you have a good team. And obviously, as the maps switch and you kind of play through different ones, you'll be able to really capitalize on that. I'm going to go ahead and get in this next match here. Then we can bring it up and here. Oh, it's different. There it is. I think I'm on Temple Ruins. So we're going to bring this in here, show this off. Actually, bring it back to...
Yeah, so we're on Temple Ruins V2 practice.
I think we're in different games.
Are we?
You just don't like me.
Oh, damn.
Why not?
Cold.
Why not? So it's going to load in here and we'll
doubles
show
our
it
chances
off.
of getting the right point.
Does it?
Does it?
Does it go from 50 to 100? Is there diminishing returns on that? Who knows? And of course, we might be able to show off an additional thing. We have a new skin coming this patch. It's something that we've concocted in our laboratory.
Wow.
With vials and potions and other things. Science. Am I doing this teasing thing right?
You are.
I think I'm really good at it.
With the power of magic and science combined.
No, just science.
Just science.
Just science. Science is magic to some people.
We're just testing something out for science.
Depends on where you're from and what, if you feel like, if seeing a telescope, maybe it's just like when you see fire. Like, did cavemen think fire was magic?
Magic. Red flower.
Could they ever understand the idea of magic? What if they just thought it was like a really, really like hot, like pet? Like it was like a dog. Like a dog. All right, so I'm in the match here. We're in 2 different matches. Let's see what point spawns up. And we'll show off this. I'm playing Drogos as well this time, so we can kind of go. Oh, here we go. So we're hopping in. We're in the match. We're jumping around. So again, you have another kind of vista here. Look how pretty this looks. Again, this isn't even the final art. The artists are still filling this area out. But you can see there's a really kind of vast, and if you fall down here, you will die. You will die. And so this is the end point for this side of it. You see that I can go up here and just kind of hold this down for my team to defend. You see there's a clearly defined pathway for the payload cart, so you know where that's going to come from. There's a lot of choices here. You can kind of flank that way, you can flank that way, you can go right up the middle. You can fly over these walls as well. So if you want to kind of go around, you see it's all very tight and clean for flyers. So they have the right spaces. And again, on this point too, you have some verticals.
Will you be able to land up on those walls, or will they kind of like ski you off?
You look at this wall here, you see this has kind of like a, it's not a flat surface, it's pointed. It has a pointed surface on it. We're doing a lot of work to make sure that's very clear to the players what you can and cannot stand on. Because that wasn't completely flat, it's pretty clear that was not a land location. But over here, this one is, right? This is a very flat surface, so I can land up here. I can shoot on people, I can play around if I'm in danger, I can fall, kind of shoot underneath, blow some people up, right? So there's some cool things we can do around that. And all these broken areas around here, this is the actual Temple Ruin area. So you can fly up there. Obviously, characters like Sky can't do this, but Drogos, he's got the ability to fly here, so he can land up on this and skip over certain obstacles. And we really want to make sure that certain characters have areas that they can be really good at, they can capitalize on, that other characters can't. And that way, overall, really, your team comp starts to matter a lot more. So over here, you see there's an entrance. This, if you guys recognize this area, this is the center point on old Temple Ruins. There's a vista here where you'll fall off of, but I don't know if I can feather this enough. Oh, there we go. So I can sneak around, right? So if I'm like Cassie, I'm watching the point, watching this side, watching this side. I can sneak my way around as a flying character and land right. Like Eevee can just soar right around, and if she's not paying attention, I'm just gonna pop my salvo and just blow her up without even knowing that I was coming around. And that's something only flying characters can do. It's unique to them, and that allows them to really kind of capitalize on the area as they land on that. So this is gonna be this one. We can end this round and go to the next one.
I bet you if you run Forest Expansion on Grover, you could double vine it and get out there.
Maybe.
I'm going to challenge myself to do that. Anywhere
hit
you
the
can
wall,
go.
bounce off a little bit.
Anywhere you can go, I can go better.
And then vine again, see if you can get back in. That's the beauty of it, man. That is the beauty of it. So we're going to wait for this to restart here. And again, this still needs, artists are still working on this right now. Let's see if we can't get illuminate. Did it help? No, nothing happened. This card is useless. And then after this, we can show all the pieces. And again, this is not a full patch. There's a lot of more features and new cards and stuff coming in this patch. Just want to give you a brief little update of what we're working on and as to why we're pushing the patch back.
5, 4,
3,
3,
2, 1. There it is. This is a different one. Yeah, this is the other one we saw. So you see, this one is more for kind of stand and fight characters. There's still going to be areas where you can kind of go. Actually, with Drogos, I can show the frog. I love this frog. So this is a little area you obviously can sneak around in. There's a little
you
waterfall.
can get all the way in the nook there.
That's right. So you know how to hide here. But this is obviously a very tight ledge. So if I'm coming around and Cassie sees me coming, she's going to punt me in the face. I'm going to fall off. Let's see if we can... The frog! The frog.
Glory be to our frog.
The frog got me. Rip frog. Oh, let's see. There's the kill cam. Look at that little frog. So yeah, we're hoping to get some feedback on this, guys. Let us know. We can go ahead and kind of end this one, and then we can go to the next part. The next part. So Nick's got this one up on his screen. This is going to be something that's coming in this patch as well. We have been working on a refer friend system. This is to help get your friends in the game a little bit easier. But obviously, with refer friend, we want to make sure that there is an incentive to do so. So all my awesome science jokes earlier has led up to this moment. The refer friend bonus skin for referring friends and playing with them is going to be the Pip Mad Scientist skin. So you see him with his purple goggles there. He's got a trench coat, a lab coat. His tail's actually a little bit burned out. And he does have a really cool voice pack that we can show off in just a moment. And obviously for the milestone rewards for getting friends in general, you'll get the cool weapon that does come with new special effects with purple goo on it. And then just for the friends you refer leveling up, you'll get a bunch of gold. And you see that, you know, after referring a bunch of friends or playing hours with friends, you can get crystals for that. So it's not just gold. You get a lot of gold for it, but you actually start getting crystals and a unique skin. The only way to get this skin is through refer a friend. So if you want to refer your friends, that's how you do it.
It looks like there's a total of 1,000 crystals up for grabs here, guys. So if anyone's still looking to get that Vampire Slayer bundle, this is your opportunity here.
So you want to switch over to my screen, I'll show off the Mad Scientist skin in all its glory. This is a wacky guy. So this is the Pip. So you can see it's still Pip, but he's got this new kind of, if we can't, there's the kind of wacky, it's got like the little Tesla coils on the top of it. This discombobulator and Mad Scientist. And then we'll be able to show off the voice pack here in just a moment as we get into the game. So this will change the special effects on the character, and he has a new voice pack. It's pretty cool. How do you think of Mad Scientist talks?
I don't know why I'm picturing either Brad or like Rick from Rick and Morty.
Okay.
It's either got to go with the gruff, like alcoholic, weathered, seasoned veteran scientist, or like just the straight up zany looking guy.
There's a little wiggle Tesla coils. They're always zapping each other.
Maybe a German accent.
Maybe. Let's see.
A simpleton like you could never match wits with me.
Beautiful.
You thought you could match the power of science? What do you get if you cross an octopus with a cow? Science! My plan! My plan!
Five,
My
four,
plan!
That's my favorite.
My plan.
I like that. That's too bad.
1.
My plan!
The battle has
My
begun.
intellect is unmatched. You're smarter than you look. Brilliant! How could you? My plan needs more horsepower.
So you see he's got that kind of Pip feel to him, but obviously is as if Pip were a mad scientist. And this skin is up for grabs. All you gotta do is refer a couple of friends and play with them in Paladins, and you'll get this skin for free. And obviously, as you refer more friends or play with more friends, you'll end up getting free gold and crystals and just more things to really kind of spend. So that is that for this character. I'm gonna give actually, as we're wrapping this up. Again, this is more of a dev update. Should I switch to Makoa?
I don't know. I think we need to because I feel really bad. I promised a giveaway yesterday, but I ran out of codes actually, so I feel
That's
like I need to
messed up,
give
man.
a little. I know it's bad.
But why should I do something because you didn't give him codes?
For science, you know.
Okay.
What do you get when you? What did he say? A horse on an octopus?
It's an octopus and a cow.
an octopus and a cow.
Yep.
This is what you get.
So this is the alphabet is in full beard. So this guy is still in development, guys. This is a really sneak peek. I'm just going to do one thing, and then we'll be able to cut back and end the update here. I'm just going to do one little thing.
Okay.
Just to show what's happening. That's all I'm going to do.
That's all you
And
get
we're done.
for now.
That's it. That's all I'm going to do.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for Dry Bear for coming out this week as opposed to, we're hoping the patch's going to be out next week.
Next week.
Okay, so thanks so much for Dry Bear for coming out, not keeping us in the dark here. We really appreciate that. And that is going to be all from us today. Week.